I love Sword Art Online.
I think I just threw up in my mouth.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is an awesome movie that builds on everything that made the first one so great. It's packed with fun, excitement, and moments that keep you hooked from start to finish. The action scenes are super cool, with fast-paced chases and intense battles that look amazing thanks to top-notch visual effects. The cast does a fantastic job, and it's great to see how well they bring their characters to life. It's also exciting to meet some new characters who add a lot to the story and make the world of Sonic even more fun. The movie is full of humor, heart, and adventure, making it a blast for fans of all ages. Whether you're a longtime Sonic fan or just love a good action-packed movie, it's definitely worth watching. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 absolutely blows Sword Art Online out of the water. While Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is packed with fun, energy, and excitement, Sword Art Online feels like a slog to get through. It's dull, lifeless, and completely lacking in the kind of charm that makes a story enjoyable. The characters in Sword Art Online are flat and uninteresting, making it hard to care about anything they're going through. Additionally, Sword Art Online's plot is a tangled mess that can't decide what it wants to be, and it drags the whole experience down. It's honestly hard to believe that anyone actually likes Sword Art Online unironically. The show is a disaster. It's a mystery how it has any fans at all. Watching Sword Art Online feels more like a chore than entertainment. Seriously, skip it and watch something actually fun, like Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Trust me, let's break down why Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is leagues ahead of Sword Art Online.
Sonic must team up with Tails to find the Master Emerald before Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles. In this video, I'll break down and explain the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. The movie begins on the Mushroom Planet. Dr. Robotnik is still alive, and it's been 243 days. Dr. Robotnik uses Sonic's quill to create an energy signal. Knuckles comes through a portal, and he demands to know where Dr. Robotnik got the quill. Dr. Robotnik mentions that it's from Earth, so Knuckles helps him return to Earth. We move to Seattle, and Sonic is trying to be a superhero named Blue Justice. He stops an armored car robbery, but ends up wrecking the whole block, and everybody hates him. Sonic runs back home to Green Hills, Montana. He misses Longclaw and wants to make her proud. Sonic and Tom go fishing at a lake. Tom has been reading the newspaper, and he knows about Sonic's vigilantism. Tom doesn't like how Sonic is so irresponsible. Sonic is upset because he wants Tom to be his friend, not his dad. Tom and Maddie go through a ring portal to Hawaii to attend Maddie's sister Rachel's wedding. She's getting married to a man named Randall. Sonic gives Tom a ring so he can use it to get back home. Sonic stays home with the dog Ozzy for the weekend, and they throw a lot of parties. A two-tailed fox named Tails arrives on Earth through a portal. He flies off and searches for Sonic. There's a power outage at the house. Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles come to attack Sonic. Knuckles is too strong, and Sonic isn't able to beat him in a fight. Knuckles explains that Longclaw and her people are the sworn enemy of the Echidnas. Knuckles is about to kill Sonic, but Tails arrives in the nick of time to save him. Tails stole a police car earlier, and he drives off with Sonic. Knuckles chases after Tails and Sonic. Tails notifies Sonic that Knuckles wants to find the Master Emerald. Sonic doesn't think that it's real. The police car crashes, but Tails flies Sonic away to safety. Dr. Robotnik launches one of his drones from space, and he gets a change of clothing. Dr. Robotnik convinces Knuckles to team up with him so they can find the Master Emerald and destroy Sonic. Tails and Sonic go to Tom's friend Wade's garage. Sonic realizes that there's an emerald symbol on the map Longclaw gave him. A hologram of Longclaw appears, and she explains that Earth was chosen because it's the secret location of the Master Emerald. Protecting the emerald was Longclaw's sacred duty, but now it's Sonic's responsibility. He has to find the Master Emerald and keep it safe. The first clue is located in Siberia, so Sonic and Tails travel there to find it. Dr. Robotnik reunites with Agent Stone at a coffee shop called the Mean Bean. Knuckles introduces himself to Agent Stone, and he's welcomed to the team. The coffee shop is transformed into a secret lair. Sonic and Tails get lost in Siberia. They disguise themselves and take shelter at a restaurant. Tails has been watching Sonic this whole time. He came to Earth to warn Sonic when he found out that Knuckles was on his trail. Meanwhile, Agent Stone wonders why they're working with Knuckles. Dr. Robotnik mentions that they're simply using him to find the Master Emerald. Dr. Robotnik has been tracking Sonic's location and knows that he's in Siberia. Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles travel to Siberia as well. Sonic and Tails get exposed by the people at the restaurant. They're about to be thrown into the fire, but Tails finds a way to resolve the dispute through a dance battle. Sonic and Tails work together and they win the dance battle after dancing to the song Uptown Funk. Tails Tails is happy about being Sonic's friend since he didn't have any friends while he was growing up, due to his two tails. Sonic is also glad that Tails is here. Sonic and Tails fall asleep beside the fireplace. The next morning, Tails flies Sonic to a cave in the mountains. They discover a giant owl door. Tails uses one of his gadgets to translate the writing on the door. Ages ago, the Echidnas combined the 7 Chaos Emeralds into the Master Emerald. A single warrior could use the power of the Master Emerald to defeat entire armies. An order of heroes recovered the Master Emerald since they believed that nobody should possess so much power. Sonic solves a puzzle and he receives a compass that leads to the location of the Master Emerald. Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles come to attack Sonic and Tails, so they flee. Sonic and Tails split up. Dr. Robotnik's drones shoot lasers at Sonic, but he manages to dodge all of them. Sonic throws snowballs at the drones to destroy them. Knuckles goes after Sonic and he orders him to surrender the compass. Sonic loses all of his rings. Knuckles says that his tribe members were killed the day Longclaw died. Sonic throws the compass to Tails, but Dr. Robotnik catches it and he escapes. Tails is rendered unconscious. There's an avalanche, and Sonic calls Tom so he can use the ring that he gave him earlier to open a portal. Sonic and Tails come through to Hawaii. Sonic informs Tom and Maddie that Dr. Robotnik is back on Earth. It turns out that this wedding was all a setup. Randall and most of the other wedding attendees are actually federal agents. They're part of an organization called the Guardian Units of Nations, or GUN for short. Their mission is to protect the Earth from alien threats. Sonic and Tails are captured and they get put into cages. Tom is taken as a prisoner as well. Rachel's daughter JoJo picks up Tails' backpack and she gives it to Maddie. Rachel and Maddie use Tails' gadgets to infiltrate the hotel and rescue Sonic, Tails, and Tom. Randall feels guilty for lying to Rachel. Randall admits to Rachel that he broke the first rule of undercover work and his love for her is real. Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles follow the compass and they find a huge underwater temple. Sonic sees a green skybeam and he runs to the temple on his own, since Tails is still unconscious. Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles avoid a bunch of traps and they go through a maze. They discover the Master Emerald. Dr. Robotnik is about to kill Knuckles since he's no longer useful. Sonic arrives and he fights Knuckles. Dr. Robotnik betrays Knuckles and he takes the Master Emerald for himself. Knuckles is mad because he was double-crossed. Dr. Robotnik absorbs the Master Emerald and he teleports away. The temple starts to collapse. Knuckles is trapped under a huge piece of rubble, but Sonic rescues him. Sonic runs out of air, but Knuckles swims back and saves him. Knuckles doesn't understand how Sonic can move forward after losing everything. Sonic replies that he found new friends and family. Sonic offers Knuckles to be his friend. Tails comes and he picks Sonic and Knuckles up in his plane. Dr. Robotnik appears in Green Hills. Gun soldiers come to attack Dr. Robotnik. Tom and Maddie also return to Green Hills. Dr. Robotnik uses the power of the Master Emerald to disassemble all the nearby machines and vehicles. He combines all the parts to create a giant robot that resembles himself. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles come to fight Dr. Robotnik, but he's way too powerful. Their best attacks don't do anything. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles plan to combine their powers and find Dr. Robotnik's weak spot. Sonic realizes that he's Dr. Robotnik's weak spot. Dr. Robotnik declares that he plans to enslave humanity and force them to serve as his machines. Sonic distracts Dr. Robotnik so Knuckles and Tails can attack him. Knuckles punches Dr. Robotnik and he knocks the Master Emerald out of him. The Master Emerald falls to the ground. Tom and Maddie take someone's truck and come to save Sonic. The Master Emerald shatters into the 7 Chaos Emeralds. Sonic tells Tom and Maddie to leave him, but they're family, so they'll stick together no matter what. Dr. Robotnik uses his giant robot to stomp on Sonic, Tom, and Maddie. Sonic uses the Chaos Emeralds to transform into Super Sonic. He easily destroys the giant robot. Dr. Robotnik tries to reason with Sonic, but he doesn't listen and pushes him away. Afterwards, Super Sonic uses the power of the Chaos Emeralds to create a bunch of delicious chili dogs. Super Sonic disperses the Chaos Emeralds and he returns back to normal. Tails asks why Sonic let all the power go, and Sonic replies that he still has some growing up to do. Knuckles finds the 7 Chaos Emeralds and he combines them to create the Master Emerald again. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles vow to start a new pact and keep the Master Emerald safe. Later, the characters play baseball together. Knuckles doesn't really understand how the game works. Tails pitches and Knuckles punches the ball away. That was the only ball they had, so the game is over. The characters go to get some ice cream. Tom is happy that Sonic found some friends. Sonic acknowledges Tom as his dad. In the mid-credits scene, gun agents are investigating what happened. They're unable to find Dr. Robotnik's body among the wreckage, but believe that he's dead. An agent mentions how they found coordinates to a secret research facility which houses Project Shadow. The final scene shows Shadow the Hedgehog opening his eyes. And that's the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie explained. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 received generally positive reviews from critics. The movie has made made about $355 million at the box office. A third Sonic the Hedgehog movie is in development, as well as a Knuckles spin-off show for the Paramount Plus streaming service in 2023. Which movie or anime should I explain next? Leave a suggestion. Check out some of the other videos on this channel. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a future upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
As you can see, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a total blast and packed with fun from start to finish. It is exciting, entertaining, and full of energy that keeps you hooked the whole way through. Characters are likable, the humor lands, and the action scenes are a joy to watch. On the other hand, Sword Art Online is the exact opposite. It is dull, lifeless, and completely uninspired. Characters are bland, the story drags, and it is honestly a complete waste of time. Instead of putting yourself through the chore of watching Sword Art Online, do yourself a favor and watch Sonic the Hedgehog 2 instead. You'll actually have a good time and won't regret it. Sword Art Online doesn't even come close to being as good as Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and it never will. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is better in every single way. More fun, more exciting, and way more entertaining. While Sword Art Online drags you down with its bland characters and boring story, Sonic 2 keeps you hooked with great action, humor, and heart. It is not even a competition. If you haven't seen the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie yet, it is definitely worth checking out. It is a ton of fun and a fantastic introduction to this universe, with plenty of excitement and charm for people of all ages. The humor, action, and heart make it a great watch for families or longtime Sonic fans.
Sonic the Hedgehog is a 2020 adventure comedy movie. It's based on the video game franchise of the same name published by Sega. If you're unsure about the ending, then you definitely came to the right place. In this video, I'll explain the ending of Sonic the Hedgehog. This video will contain spoilers for Sonic the Hedgehog, so make sure you watch that movie first before watching this video. Anyways, let's get started. So towards the end of the movie, Sonic and Dr. Robotnik finally face off against each other. Sonic uses his ring portals to travel all across the world, including locations like France, China, and Egypt. Dr. Robotnik follows Sonic through the portals, and they end up back in Green Hills, Montana. The citizens of Green Hill band together, and they fight with Sonic against Dr. Robotnik. Sonic is eventually able to defeat Dr. Robotnik by sending him to the Mushroom Land. Afterwards, Sonic decides to stay on Earth, and also Tom decides to stay in Green Hill as well, instead of moving to San Francisco, because it's a special place with people he cares about. Sometime later, you can see Tom and Maddie repairing and painting their house, because it was destroyed earlier by Dr. Robotnik's drones. Commander Walter visits Tom and Maddie, and he gives them a $50 Olive Garden gift card for keeping quiet about the events that occurred. We also see that Tom and Maddie made a room for Sonic in the attic, and it looks just like his old cave. There's a total of 2 different mid-credit scenes in the movie, but no actual post-credit scenes. The first one shows that Dr. Robotnik is still alive on the Mushroom Planet. He has a shaved head and a huge mustache, which is more similar to how the character is supposed to look in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. We see that about 90 days have passed since Dr. Robotnik was stranded on this planet, and he wants to return home by Christmas. Furthermore, Dr. Robotnik also still has one of Sonic's quills. The second mid-credit scene shows a new ring portal emerging on Earth, and out steps Tails. In the Sonic the Hedgehog series, Tails is a two-tailed fox, who's Sonic's best friend and sidekick. He says he hopes it's not too late, and then he flies off by using his twin tails. So what does this all mean? Well, this movie is actually the first in a planned film series, and the 2 mid-credit scenes clearly set up a sequel, and we'll definitely see Tails in the sequel, but there's a lot more characters in the Sonic the Hedgehog series, like Knuckles and Shadow, so maybe they'll also make an appearance as well, who knows. Furthermore, the mid-credit scene showing Dr. Robotnik strongly suggests that he will find some other way to get back to Earth. Before the movie came out, Jim Carrey, the actor who plays Dr. Robotnik, said that he wouldn't mind doing another Sonic the Hedgehog movie, because it was so much fun first of all, and it was a real challenge to try and convince people that he has a triple-digit IQ. There's so much room, you know. Robotnik has not reached his apotheosis. How would Dr. Robotnik even return to Earth from this mushroom planet in the first place though? Well, I do have a few theories. First of all, we did see that Dr. Robotnik still has some scraps and parts from his old ship, so maybe he'll build another small vessel from that, and some other resources he found on the planet. Then he'll use Sonic's quill to power it up, and fly all the way back to Earth. A second theory is that Dr. Robotnik's assistant Stone will find a way to bring him back to Earth. Maybe Stone will somehow acquire one of Sonic's ring portals, and use that to allow Dr. Robotnik to return. Or perhaps they'll find another way through the power of technology, and build a portal or something. This is a movie, so something like that wouldn't be too weird or anything. A third theory would be that one of the other villains in the Sonic the Hedgehog series will rescue Dr. Robotnik. We know that Sonic is not the only one with the ring portals because Tails also has them. Therefore, others should have those as well, and they might use it to get Dr. Robotnik back, and recruit him to join them because of their shared hatred for Sonic. And finally, one last theory is that Sonic will voluntarily use one of his ring portals, and save Dr. Robotnik because there's an even bigger threat, and they need Dr. Robotnik's help to defeat it. We do know that Dr. Robotnik has a triple-digit IQ, so this would come in handy. There are plenty of other villains in the Sonic the Hedgehog series, so it wouldn't be hard to just pick one of those to be the major villain instead of Dr. Robotnik in the sequel. I guess the sequel all depends on how much money this movie manages to make in the end, but do you have any more theories on how Dr. Robotnik will return? If so, be sure to tell me. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a future upload. What did you think of Sonic the Hedgehog? Let me know your opinion in the comments below. I personally thought it was good. I liked the acting and the story was simple to follow, but also exciting to watch. It's definitely a lot better than your typical video game movie. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. So I watched the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and it was actually pretty good, which is definitely a welcome surprise because I didn't have high expectations, since most video game movie adaptations tend to be really awful. I'm sure that the movie will be a real crowd pleaser, and a lot of people will enjoy it, which means that it will also make a ton of money. There will definitely be a sequel sooner or later, especially because this movie was always planned to be the first entry in a movie series. So this got me thinking, what might happen in the Sonic the Hedgehog sequel? The two mid-credit scenes of this movie definitely set up some big things coming, and I was able to come up with a couple theories. This video will of course contain spoilers for Sonic the Hedgehog, so make sure you watch that movie first before watching this video. Anyways, let's get started. Here are 5 things that might happen in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, or whatever the sequel will actually be called. I obviously don't know the official title yet. Number 1. Dr. Robotnik will build Metal Sonic. In the movie, Dr. Robotnik was defeated by Sonic, so it goes to show that he's not strong enough to win on his own, and he needs help. One way that Dr. Robotnik could get help is if he were to build it himself. It was explicitly shown and stated in the movie that Dr. Robotnik prefers machines over people because they actually do what they're told. Based on this, I think Dr. Robotnik will build Metal Sonic. In the Sonic the Hedgehog series, Metal Sonic is the secondary antagonist. He's an evil badnik version of Sonic, and Dr. Robotnik's deadliest creation, built for the sole purpose of destroying Sonic. Dr. Robotnik still has some of Sonic's DNA, because he kept the one quill he found earlier, and furthermore he has Sonic's other information as well, such as height and weight. Dr. Robotnik could use all of this to build Metal Sonic. Dr. Robotnik has been shown to be extremely intelligent, and he has a triple-digit IQ, so this shouldn't be hard for him to do. Number 2. More characters will show up. During the second mid-credit scene, we saw Tails make an appearance. Tails is Sonic's best friend, sidekick, and most recurring ally, but Sonic has a lot more friends and allies. One example will be Knuckles the Echidna, another popular character in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. Knuckles made his debut in the 1994 game Sonic the Hedgehog 3. In the game, Dr. Eggman tricked Knuckles into opposing Sonic and Tails. Later in the year, another game called Sonic and Knuckles came out, and Knuckles learned about Dr. Eggman's trickery and decided to team up with Sonic and Tails instead. Therefore, if Sonic and Tails are both going to be in the sequel, then it's a good chance that Knuckles will also show up in one way or another. He could first appear as the enemy, just like what happened in the game, and then towards the end of the movie, change and become friends with Sonic and Tails. Number 3. Sonic will be forced to work for Dr. Robotnik. Yes, Dr. Robotnik is Sonic's archenemy, and he would never voluntarily listen to him and do what he says. But in the Sonic the Hedgehog OVA that was released in 1999, Sonic had to comply with what Dr. Robotnik said, because he had the president and his daughter Sarah hostage. Therefore, something like this could happen in the sequel. What if Dr. Robotnik took Tom and Maddie hostage? He could force Sonic to do whatever he said, because we know that Sonic would never let Tom and Maddie get hurt, and he considers Tom to be his best friend. Maybe that's why they brought Tails in, so that Tails could help rescue Tom and Maddie, and make it so that Sonic won't have to continue following Dr. Robotnik's orders. Number 4. Longclaw Owl is not dead. When Sonic was a child, he was raised by Longclaw Owl because he didn't have any real parents. Sonic even called Longclaw Owl his Obi-Wan Kenobi. However, one day some bad guys were after Sonic's powers, and Longclaw Owl gave Sonic the ring portals, and told him to escape to Earth because it was far away. Longclaw Owl stayed behind to fight the attackers, and that's the last we saw of him. So obviously the movie wants to make us think he died heroically, and sacrificed his life to save Sonic's life. However, what if that actually wasn't the case? What if Longclaw Owl somehow defeated all the attackers and survived? Think about it. They never explicitly showed Longclaw Owl actually dying. The camera cut away before that happened, so it would be easy for the writers to explain otherwise. Whenever a movie or TV show doesn't specifically show a character dying, it's usually because they aren't dead, and they'll appear in a later installment. Even if the character was killed, they could easily just bring them back to life anyways by using some flimsy excuse. For example, this is exactly what happened with Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, Letty Ortiz in the Fast and Furious movies, and Harry Hart in Kingsman The Golden Circle. For that reason, I strongly believe that Longclaw Owl is not actually dead, and he'll show up in the sequel to reunite with Sonic after all these years. Number 5. How Dr. Robotnik returns to Earth. During the first mid-credits scene, it showed that Dr. Robotnik was still alive on the Mushroom Planet, and he was planning on returning by Christmas time, so this goes to show that he's definitely going to return. No debate about that. Dr. Robotnik is the most well-known antagonist of the Sonic the Hedgehog series, so you can definitely expect to see more of him in the future, and they wouldn't have shown this scene if that wasn't the case. So So yeah, as you can see, those are 5 theories on what I think might happen in the sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog. What do you think about any of these theories? Do you agree with what I said? Why or why not? Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Also, do you have any theories of your own? If so, make sure to tell me. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a future upload. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.